Hello and good morning to a new lesson of science. Today we are going to continue the second part of Unit 6 in the ground. Today we are going to talk and learn about where can we find soil and what do we use soil for. But as always, before starting with the lesson, we have to check the materials you need. The first thing you need for this lesson is to watch this video. Then you will also need your My Pals Are Here 2A student book, and maybe you are going to use your My Pals Are Here 2A activity book. Remember that there's going to be a worksheet so you can check how much you learn from this lesson. So, having said that, let's review what we learned from the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, we introduced the Unit 6 in the ground and we talked about rocks. We know that there are many types of rocks. Rocks can have many different uses and characteristics. Some rocks can be used for jewelry, some rocks can be used to make roads, bridges, to build places, and order to make statues. Also, some rocks can be used to as a calendar, like the Mayas, or as a sun clock in the past. But let's start with this new part of the unit, soil. So please open your My Pals Are Here Today student book on pages 78 and 79. Right, as always, we have a beautiful picture with our friends doing something. In this case, we also have some questions and a be careful section and a word bank section. So the first question should be very easy because this is something that we studied in Unit 3 plants. So what do plants need to grow? Where does water go when you water the plant? And which part of the plant is in the soil? If we check what our friends are saying is um, you will become a big tree one day, and he's watering a little plant. Uh, on the other page, we have the sand here looks and feels different from soil. That's a very interesting observation. Uh, Sand and soil are different types of soil. Soil is what we call the land that we use most of the time to grow things, to grow plants or fruits. This type of land or soil is used in agriculture. Sand, on the other hand, it's a very different text has a different texture, shape, and size. Here we have some words that are important. Here we have water. Well, of course, you can remember that when you water a plant, this water is absorbed by the roots that are in the land. The roots are not only important to for the plant to get water and nutrients from the soil, also to stay planted on land, because without roots, when there's wind, plants could fly away. So roots are like an anchor as a ship. They prevent plants to fly away. And of course, we have a spade, which is what Joe is using, and sand, which is a different type of soil. If we check the World Bank, here we have sunlight and air. These are other elements that plants need to grow. In the Be Careful section, we have the wash your hands with soap and water after touching soil. This is super important because in soil there are many bacteria and nutrients, and you don't know what you are really touching. So it's important to wash your hands, not only your fingers, but under your nails too. Let's continue. But where can we find soil? Well, remember that the other lesson I told you that everything that you see where animals, plants, and we can walk and stay, it's land, it's soil. but we can find it in different places. Think, is the same the soil from forests or parks? Is the same the soil that it's in the beach, the sand, that the soil that it's in the countryside? Well, these have different properties and different nutrients. So not every plant can grow in the same soil. This is something very interesting. Let's continue. All right. If we continue in our my pulsar here we have some information. Soil is important. Soil is also found in the ground. Plants grow and animals live in the soil. Soil is important to plants. Plants get water from soil and remember nutrients too. Soil holds the roots of plants. It helps plants stay in place. This is what I was telling you before. Roots are essential for plants to be there, not only to live. Let's continue. All right, as you can read in the top left corner, it says optional activity. This activity actually is super fun and very interesting because you can learn a lot from this project. But I know that it's difficult to go outside, and some of you live in apartments or flats. So it's not very simple to get soil and sand. So this project is only there as an option. If you can do it, great. If you don't, well, it's okay. But the important thing is that here you have two different soils, types of soil, and the idea is to grow a plant and what could happen after 9 days of this. All right, let's continue. What do we use soil to? Well, soil has have many uses. You already know that soil can be used to grow plants. Also, can be used for mining to get materials such as metals and different types of rocks to do different things. One of the most famous uses and popular uses of soil is to practice sport, to do activities like a football pitch. Also, you have caverns. Caverns are holes that usually go underground or inside mountains or hills, so you can see what is inside of these incredible structures of nature. There you're going to study something that is inside of this place. And when you check the a cavern, sometimes you can see layers, like in a lasagna. Layers of soil explain the different elements that were in that place during time. If you can see the first picture on the top left, there you can see layers of soil in a same area. You can find different types of soil with different elements, such as rocks, roots, maybe tools. So uh, soil can be a door to our past. We can explore what was there before we were here. And also, one of my favorite uses of soil is to go hiking, walk, and explore nature. Let's continue. So here we have the at a glance section. So just to wrap up, we have in the ground. We have on one hand rocks that came in different size and shapes, colors, patterns, textures, and hardness. All these characteristics can be different from rocks. Also can be made into different things, such as houses or jewelries. And of course, on the other hand, we have soil. Soil is important to plants, but not only for plants, for all living things. Remember, no plants, no animals, no people. So it's super important. Let's check the science words. Here we have textures, patterns, rocks, soil, rough, buildings, sand, smooth, roads, harder, bridges, statues, jewelry. In the self-check section, you have to use the words that are in the box to complete the sentences. So, number one, the ground is made up of rocks and soil. Number two, rocks come in different sizes, shapes, colors, patterns, textures, and hardness. Number three, many different things are made of rock. And number four, soil is important to plants. Plants get water and support from the soil. Now let's continue. So just to finish the unit, here we have what we learned. There are different types of soil. Remember, sand, the ground to grow plants in the countryside, uh, the soil that you have on hills or mountains, which has more rocks and less plants, the soil that you can find on forests. And of course, soil is important for living things, animals, plants, and people. We use soil to grow food or flowers, to get materials, to learn from the past, and of course, and most important, to have fun. That was all from today. I hope you had fun and you had a great week. Bye bye, compadre. That's it.